We've been waiting for about a year to get to do this again. The second annual Gulf Coast Racing Series Texas Truck Challenge happening at Houston Motorsports Park. And it's like just hours away, guys. It was, a holiday weekend. You had a holiday weekend in there, so everything has escalated really fast. It's time to go racing in Houston, and this right here is going to be one of the biggest events, obviously here in Texas, that we've seen in a long time. Last year was big, but last year was tough. Obviously, you had the whole. Oh, by the way, the whole 2020 thing that was going on. But then you had things that were just a little bit different that may have kept people away. I mean, you had folks talking about, the purse is dropping too much from winning. Well, you show up to win, but I get it. But I totally get it. And then you had championship night happening at Five Flags Speedway, and none of that, y'all. None of that, y'all, for this race. $10,000 to win, $5,000 for second. $2,500 for third. It is the second annual Texas Truck Challenge. This is your quick, just midweek check-in right here on the Gulf Coast Racing Series page. And we'll have a couple of special guests that will be joining us. 6:45, we're going to talk to a driver that wasn't sure if this driver was going to make it, but he is. So we'll have that conversation. And then coming up a little bit later on, probably around 7 o'clock, we'll talk to somebody else very, very important. Have to give a lot of love to just a few people. First of all, Fox 26. Thank you for making your way out to Houston Motorsports Park this week or this morning and having that special coverage. That's something that I know that for many years for me here in Austin, I would see the value of just a little bit of TV love, and just a little bit of TV love goes a long way. And just a great job by Gina and Denny and everybody that went out and were a part of that. I know that those TV things, a lot of times it's a lot of work that goes in. It's a lot of time that goes in for not a lot of coverage. But the whole thing is that coverage is free, and that's massive. To get on the airwaves in the Houston market, that's really a really big thing. Ty checking in right there. Guys, everybody that's a part of this, if you happen to catch this, tell me if you're coming. Tell me if you're going to be a part of this. Tell me what you're racing, whether it be trucks, whether it be anything else. Man, I am so looking forward to just a great Saturday at the racetrack. Weather's not going to be a factor. There's some stuff happening out in the Gulf, but it's going to be later next week. So we are off and running on just what is going to be an amazing weekend. The schedule is actually on this page. So you can actually go and you'll find everything right there. But just to kind of give you a nuts and bolts, the American Racer Tire, and thank you to American Racer for being such a great part of this. Thank you to Advanced Auto Parts. Thank you to everyone that has been so tremendous in getting all of this put together. So that's your Friday. All of that's going to happen right there. You'll have time to go in and shake those cars down and get yourself ready. Get some laps on these tires. I mean, I've talked about it. We've talked about it on the Revved Up show. How do you like my background right here? I'll tell you, this is what you do when you get creative. You're down to the wire and you find shirts, and that's what you do right there, and you hang them up for the background because that's what you have right there. You've got the commemorative inaugural shirt right there. Then you've got a Gulf Coast shirt. I'm looking at stuff backwards right here. So that's what you have back behind us, and I'm sure there's probably going to be shirts again. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure there probably will be. But then you get to Saturday. Saturday's when the magic happens. That is the big day. You'll have control practice. It all starts at 1 o'clock. Your practice starts at 1 o'clock with the Pro Mods, the Outlaws, the Super Stocks, Legacies, Eco Stocks. I mean, everything is in line right there. You can check it all out. That detailed schedule, race day schedule, and Friday schedule is right here on this page. And, of course, you can follow at NASCAR Houston on Twitter we're going to be just blowing out the coverage. There's going to be lots of stuff that we'll be doing throughout the day on Saturday to try to get eyeballs on this. I saw that somebody had posted the Corvette pace car. Thank you, Jay. That'll be something that'll be really amazing right there to see that. I mean, we've got all the fun for the kids. You'll have the Disney cars back out, and this is really a weekend, I think, where asphalt racing in Texas, and again, we've struggled. We're in a position right now to where we are with just the one track, and that's something that it's come about for a lot of different reasons, just a lot of different reasons. But we're in a spot where we have an opportunity to really showcase our not only Texas talent just across the Southeast, California, whoever may be coming. I think this is a great opportunity for Texas to really say, look, we still have a pulse. We are still a viable player in this. We've got one racetrack, and on this night, and here's even September 11th, 2021. We are 20 years out from that day, and that's a day that will loom in our hearts. And trust me, I'll be talking about this on Saturday. It's a time that. Saturday, we need to have some fellowship. Saturday, we need to all be one. We need to all be together, and we just need to celebrate the fact that we're going to get out there, and we're going to have lots of cars and certainly lots of trucks that are going to be happening out there, and it's just going to be a great night. And there's so many folks that make it happen. And I've talked about Advance. You've got the 4T4 guys that are doing everything that they do behind the scenes. Obviously, Gina and Bo and the entire staff, with the Gulf Coast Racing Series that just keep doing. It's been a crazy year. It's been, whether it be Mobile, Houston, it's been a struggle in Houston. There have been so many struggles there, but this right here is what's going to culminate it all. This is going to culminate it all. And I want to talk about Alan Alexander that we saw right there. I want to talk about him and Colin Alexander with Hercules Foundation Repair. This is a really big truck race. It's $10,000 to win on the line for trucks. Trucks coming from all across the country. Coming to play with the Texas boys, coming to play on a Texas track. So many of these tracks are, half mile. We've talked about it so many times where the guys in the Southeast, they love their half mile, high bank, whatever. We got a 3/8 mile. They're coming to our house, and they're going to be locked and loaded and repaired. We saw it last year that they came prepared. But I want to talk about Alan and Colin Alexander. These guys have put a lot of money into the modified purse. There is bonus money in the modified purse. This is the truck race. This is a truck race, but these guys have dished out money that's going into the modified purse, and we've seen really good modified car counts, whether it be at Houston or at Mobile. But Hercules Foundation Repair is dishing out the cash into the modified purse. That's just going to add more into the whole significance of this whole night that's going to be happening here at Houston. And oh, by the way, I did talk to AA, Alan Alexander, my man, and they're actually going to be sponsoring, this may be breaking news. I don't even know if Gina knows this. They're actually even going to be doing a hard charger award in the truck race. So that's more bonus money that's coming in. And this is simply because these guys... And these are guys that the Alexander family, that they've been a part of asphalt racing for so long. I've raced with all of these guys, throughout my time, and they're doing dirt stuff. I mean, they're doing dirt stuff, but there's still that pulse that we talk about with pavement racing in Texas, and these guys want to be a part of it, and they're putting money, they're churning money into that fund, and that's much appreciated, and that's guys like that. That's guys like that keep this thing alive. And I was actually doing a little bit of very basic arithmetic. And again, the schedule is right here on the Facebook page. But you're gonna have the Eco Stocks running 20 laps. You'll have the Super Stocks doing 25, the Legacies running 20, the Outlaws doing 30, the Pro Mods will do 30, and then of course at the end of the night you will have the second annual Texas Truck Challenge presented by Advance Auto Parts. 75 laps, just like it was last year. if you go in there and add all of those numbers up, and there may be a Pro Truck last chance race in there. There better be a Pro Truck last chance race in there. But if you add up everything that's published right now, all of those laps, you've got 200 laps. And something that has been very special to the racing community in Houston for many years, was the Liberty Bell 200. You got 200 published laps right there. You have yourself somewhat of a Liberty Bell 200. You have yourself a 911 200. And when I sat there and I did it over and over, crunching those numbers over and over to make sure that I was coming out to the right number, I don't know what all is going to happen, but I can tell you that admission prices are $20 for adults. Seniors 65 and older, $10. First responders with an ID is $10. Active military and veterans are $10. Kids 7 to 12, $10. Children 6 and under, free. I can tell you, when you pay that admission ticket, you are going to get 200 laps, at least 200 laps of amazingness. And that's exactly what this thing is adding up to. And again, there's so many people and folks working behind the scenes that are just doing so much to make this second annual Texas Truck Challenge happen and come together. And again, now that we got media partners along, I know that there's some stuff that's going to be happening on CBS 11, and that's what we want. I mean, that's what we want. We want that media reach where you get folks that are going to be involved, and that's really what it's all about. And that's so much of the challenge. That's a huge hurdle right there that the Gulf Coast Racing Series is about to get. I mean, man, I have priced TV advertising in the past, and it ain't cheap. And I saw 2 segments today, and that's big. And CBS coming aboard, it's going to be fantastic. So just a little bit of a 5:05 will be your Pro Truck qualifying. So that's going to be the time that all of that will begin to happen. There's going to be an invert at some point, and I do ask, seriously, if you're coming, if you're going to race, or if you're going to be a fan, $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, that's a great reason to go. Jump in on this chat. If you catch it after the fact, jump in on the chat as well. And, of course, one of the things that I do want to remind you about here is I go to my notes. Don't forget, if you are coming in, whether it be I'll be in from Round Rock. I'll be in early on Saturday. But, of course, there is that hotel discount, $69 right there at that infamous Holiday Inn, where I'm sure that there's going to be one hell of a party once the Tech Barn closes. The sun may be out. The sun may be out. I don't know by the time that all of that happens, but you can call area code 281-449-2311. That is a Holiday Inn, Intercontinental Airport. Mention that you want to book reservations with the racetrack, Houston Motorsports Park. Get the dates, and you'll get the discount. And again, you may want to try to do that just as soon as possible. And of course, that's at 15222 JFK Boulevard, right there. You can't miss it. It's right there on the way to the track, right off of the Beltway. So get those discounted rooms in order if you haven't done it already. They've already gone in. They've done great renovations there. The staff there is just so cool. Just really good people. They block off the whole outside for us. They know what we do. It's only taken all these years for them to figure out how the hell we roll. But yeah, if you're coming in, book that room. Again, that number 281-449-2311. And a huge thanks to the Holiday Inn Intercontinental Airport for just being such a long-time partner there with HMP and now with the Gulf Coast Racing Series. Just such great work that they do, and very accommodating, and quite frankly, I'll put it very candidly, they put up with all our bullshit right there at the old Holiday Inn. But one of the names, of course, when we talk about this, I know it's one of the names that I wondered if we were going to see this gentleman show up for this massive race. And this dude's out doing his thing. He's out there on the NASCAR Truck Series driving the number 04 CarQuest Ford, but he is coming home. It's a homecoming once again. He will be racing with us on Saturday. It is Corey Roper as he jumps on the CarQuest hotline. Corey, how we doing, man?
I'm doing good, my friend. How are y'all?
Man, we're excited, dude. It's we're rabid race fans over here. We get to watch you guys racing all across the country, and hell, then we have a big old race here, and then I find out you're coming. How cool is it for you to not only for race for your sponsor, But come back to Texas once again and get after it with all these boys.
Well, you know how it is, man. This sport is something that gets in your blood whenever you're young and you love it, and to be able to run around the country and do what we get to do. I mean, just what a fantastic accomplishment to be able to do that. Our dream come true, right? And then you get an opportunity to come back to Houston Motorsports Park and the CarQuest family and the Advanced family and be able to run something like this. I mean, just know how fantastic is that, right? And they go all out. I mean, the way they put on these races here at Houston Motorsports Park is just as fantastic and as big as the NASCAR scene. So, I mean, Gina and the people that put this thing on, and Mike and, you know, Cass and the guys that work to put this thing on, just I mean, it's above and beyond. I mean, yeah, so what a blessing, right? Just blessed to be able to be a part of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we're glad you're coming home, man. That is super awesome. So how cool is it for you? Because we talk about Advance all the time and CarQuest, and we're excited that we were kind of our team in Houston at the time on the ground level of this coming in, and you were as well. I mean, and now look at everything that Advance is doing and the CarQuest brand and Die Hard and everything that they do, man. How badass is it for you were in those initial stages of it, and look where they're at now?
Yeah, it's just a great team around that whole organization. I mean, from the top to the bottom, and I've been blessed to meet a lot of the individual owners on the CarQuest side and to see how involved they are in this. You know, we kind of got behind the 8 ball and didn't run a lot of the decals that we, you know, wanted to, and just got late on our last run, and we got so many calls and people, you know, just involved in what we do, and it kind of made us, even as a race team, sit back and realize that people are watching and people are paying attention, and you know, that's a great feeling, right? Because you kind of, everybody knows how racing season is, right? It's you know, you're all into it, and then life happens and work, and, you know, racing is something that we work our ass off to be able to do.
Right.
And then you don't think anybody's paying attention, and then you realize they are, you know. So, yeah, it's been a great ride, and just a fantastic group. And like I said, I've got to go and meet all these individuals about that. Got to go meet all these individual owners and you know, talk to them, and they do have your back, and they love racing. And I mean, even some of them, it's fantastic. I mean, Glenn, he's a guy up in Tennessee that started racing after we met, you know. So I mean, it's just fantastic. And he keeps up with me, and he's running modifieds, and I mean, he even called me and wanted my logo and put my company's logo on his car.
Nice.
You know, it's just fantastic. So yeah, what a great deal.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just a great company, and I mean, and good people. I mean, I've met. I was an Advanced customer before any of this, and just really, really good people. I mean, and that's really the core of the company. So let's talk about this race coming in this year. I know last year you made it in last year, but man, it was a thrash to get this thing put together. For you guys this year, maybe a little more time to get ready for this one. I mean, your thoughts with this? There's folks coming in, and there's lots of really, really good Texas drivers that'll be a part of this.
Yeah, Rod, do you really think I had a lot of time to get this? Come on, bro. You know better. It's thrashing all the time. I mean, yeah, I wish we had a lot of time. You know, I was really excited about last October getting a run for the second time there, and of course I came down with, you know, the awful thing nobody wants to say, right? But
right.
And my brother drove it. He did great. He finished second. But yeah, we had all kinds of plans to, you know, rebuild this truck, because we threw it together in a couple of weeks and went out, and it was, I mean, I think we finished fourth or something, but it was a turd. But you know, we're going up against a lot of guys know what they're doing. I mean, these guys that we race with here at Houston at this level, I mean, it's just tough as racing on the NASCAR scene. You know, it's just a different platform, but the competition is still the same. These guys know what the hell they're doing, and that's great, you know. So, yeah, I wish we had a little more time to work on the truck, but I'm sure you've been paying attention. I wrecked a lot of shit this year, so we've been rebuilding and yeah. So you know, we do our own chassis and our own bodies, and you can imagine with the 4 people we have in the shop that's working on these things. You know? So yeah, we've been rebuilding a lot of stuff, and you know, we got Bristol coming up. We got really a hard month coming up because we got this weekend, and we're going to Bristol, and we're going straight to Vegas, and then to Talladega, and you know, all those trucks have to be prepared. So because we, you know, with the travel schedule we have, you only have a day or two in between, and you know, new motors, trying to get them in and installed in the trucks. And yeah, I wish I could tell you that we're prepared and we're going to come over there and, you know,
right.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that with the guys that's got this kind of talent. I mean, there's people there that knows what they're doing, and I just hope I can keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll do fine. I'm sure you're going to do fine. So how cool is it for you? I mean, being on the Gander Truck Series. I mean, racing across the country. I one of the things when this whole idea came up, I told Gina, I said, look, you've got snowball derbies, you've got Oxford 250s, you got these pro late model badass races and all this. There is not a big truck race, and we, being in Texas, we need to nail that truck race. How cool is it for you being on that big circuit to know that here back home in your backyard, that big truck race is here?
Well, yeah, that's the product of you know, Gina and Mike and you know, the Advance and CarQuest guys working together, right? I mean, that's them putting something together that people's going to show up to. I think this is going to be a great race. I mean, you know, they asked me to you know, kind of get involved, you know, not for me, but just, you know, hey, ask some people to come out, right?
Sure.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people we've got coming out, and they're going to feed and you know, cater to, and I mean, it's just them working hard to make sure the short track racing stays alive, and it's hard work. I mean, Gina's coming out to the shop tomorrow, and you know, kind of help us get going. I mean, she just puts so much work into it. I mean, I've talked to Mike Cooper's team 2 or 3 times today, just trying to coordinate everything. It's not easy just for them to be able to put something on like this and compete against the snowball derbies, and you know, they're on the right track, and you know, it's just hard work on their side, and you gotta definitely take your hat off to them because they love racing, right? They're doing this to make sure that we have a place to go, and you know, the Saturday night racers have a place to go, and you know, if people don't understand how much heart and soul they put into this, I don't know what to say, because you know how it is all this is dying off, and they're keeping it alive, and thank God they took it, because you know, she's taking on Mobile and trying to get that going. I know that's been a struggle, but you got somebody with heart like Gina and Mike that's doing this. We're just blessed to have them in this area. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Texas racing has been just dying off steadily over, you know, since the Romco days, whenever we used to travel to 5 or 6 racetracks in the state of Texas, you know, every month, right? So, yeah, I can't thank them enough for what they're doing.
Yeah. It's a very good thing. So, got to ask you lastly, I mean, does it still just get better for you each and every time? I mean, you keep going to, like I said, it is so cool that you're coming back home, but still, do you have to sit back at various points and just, as you go to these different venues, and think, what a life? I mean, because Corey, you're a regular dude. I mean, I talk to so many racers, and some of them are like, you know, but you're one of us. You're one of us. You were just a regular good guy. Does it still at points for you going to these places? Are you like, man, what a life? What a life?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, all I want to do is have a good marriage, have a good business, and race every once in a while, and you know, I mean, you know, have a cold beer every night. So, yeah, I mean, that's exactly. I do sit back, and you have to pinch yourself every once in a while, but you know, just like I mean, there's nothing comes free, and everything
Right.
is a lot of work and a lot of time and investment and risk, right? And I mean,
Right.
everything. There's no reward without risk, and sometimes you sit back and go, man, I'm 44 years old now. Maybe I ought to stop living like I'm 22 years old. But
Every
no,
day, my friend, every day.
yeah. But no, I've enjoyed it. I'm blessed, and I know it. But yeah, I am definitely a regular guy, and every time I walk into that pits and the NASCAR scene, you still have that feeling like maybe this ain't where I should be, but sometimes we have a good day, and you leave there and go, you know what, I do belong here. So
That's right.
it's just having goals and going after them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you do a great job, man. We are so proud of you. And we are so excited that you are coming home, dude. I cannot wait to see you this weekend. I'll come check in. And thanks for taking the time, dude. And congratulations on hitting that upper echelon. And again, good to have you home, man.
Oh, it's I can't wait for this weekend. I've got so many people going to come out, friends and family, and it's just going to be such a cool weekend, and I'm so looking forward to it. So,
Yep.
Hey, thank you for having me on, and looking forward to visiting with you this weekend.
All right, man. We'll see you soon, buddy. Good luck Saturday night.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Talk
Take
to you
care.
soon.
You betcha. Corey Roper. And that was, we didn't know. We weren't for sure. And again, that was like I asked him there, because I know last year it was such a struggle. These guys, they were trying to get a truck put together to be a part of this race. And, what was it going to happen? I know I talked to him before the race last season, and he was just so frustrated at, the fact that they didn't have a lot of time. I mean, they just did not have a lot of time to get that truck put together. And like you said, he came out last year. He survived and he finished, but again, we've watched Corey for so long, and that was a thing where he wants to be competitive. I mean, he wants to be competitive, and I think it's so cool that when you have somebody like him that's coming back, that's been at the top of that's racing at the top of the the truck racing world, that he still comes back and that he speaks so highly of the teams that are going to be a part of this race. And I mean, seriously, I mean, sit here and look at this. I mean, just look at the roster of drivers that we have right now in Houston. And again, I know the races have been limited, but I mean, look at the talent. I mean, look at these guys. And like I was talking about, it's guys that are coming in from around the country that are half-mile guys. And they're coming in to run this. Talked to Logan Boyette, there with Gerald Boyd's truck. He was actually on the Monday Revved Up show, and he talked about the underlying factor with this race is we have not used these American Racer tires. We don't know this compound. We don't know what's going to happen with this. And I think this is something that we're going to have to factor in as to how this is all going to shake out. But, there's plenty of practice time. There's plenty of practice time, for the trucks. They'll be able to get out there. They'll be able to get their laps in, and it'll be one of the stories that I'll be following throughout the day, and I'll be blowing up this page on the Gulf Coast Racing Series Facebook page with updates throughout the day. I'll probably do goofy stuff like riding around the track like I always do, but it's going to be storylines that are happening around the track. And we also are going to be doing, I know that one thing that just an added bonus that we talked about last night, we are actually going to be doing a pre-race show. We'll do a pre-race show probably sometime around 5 o'clock, and we'll get you in line with everything that's happening as we get set for this huge race, the second annual Texas Truck Challenge presented by Advanced Auto Parts, and it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be the biggest racing weekend in Texas. And speaking of that, we were just talking to Corey, and he talked about all the great Advanced folks and the CarQuest folks, and I'm super excited to welcome to the Gulf Coast page. I've had him on Revved Up, had the opportunity to talk with him, but now he joins us here as we are just hours away. We're just a couple of days away from this massive race. It is the aforementioned Mike Cooper. Mike, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing great, Rodney. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. I am doing well. And how about you? I mean, Corey's talking about stuff right there. I mean, there's stuff behind the scenes. I mean, just so much happening for just what is going to be a massive race event happening this weekend there at Houston.
Yeah, no, we're really excited to be a part of this series and a part of what all's being done here in Houston, and of course out of Mobile as well. So it's a lot of work definitely going on in the back end. I've got some of my team that is a local here that are I actually put them off some projects to work on some things to get ready for the weekend, and we're real excited to support the trucks, and then obviously Roper coming out with his truck and racing. Obviously, we're very excited about that. Not very often we get to see him at a local track, and then get to see him on the big screen also. So going to be an exciting weekend, and we've got a lot of folks coming in to watch the race as well.
Yeah, and the weather's going to be great. And I think it's going to be a fantastic day out at the racetrack. So, Mike, we've talked about this before. Just talk about the involvement there with Advance and being a part of this. I mean, the great direct customer for Advance Auto Parts and CarQuest and Die Hard and all the various brands that you have. It's a race fan. I mean, it's the consumer that likes to watch NASCAR racing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you guys have really tapped that market and do just a great job supporting motorsports.
Yeah, no, I think, as we look at different markets and we look at how our customers go to business, especially on our DIY side, our customers that come in off the street, they relate to what we're doing locally. Grassroots racing, obviously with the NASCAR Weekly Series, that's become very big. We've got a lot of following there. Then with Corey Roper and what he and that team have done, with Wesley Smith on the USAC side, what he and his team have done, and then with Donnie Schatz, Tony Stewart, and then obviously Ryan Blaney, we've just really been able to hit the market in every really category you look at. I mean, whether it's dirt, asphalt, and then also down, the quarter mile with Josh Hart, which is running Top Fuel this year, and actually won his inaugural race at the beginning of the year. So we've really been able to spread it out and be able to talk to all of our customers. And we also have that professional customer. It's very similar to the drivers that are out there that own their own businesses, so we can relate there also. And I'm very fortunate that a lot of our professional customers really like to be involved in motorsports as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great correlation right there. And I've never understood why, before Advance that folks didn't really tap in to really be a part of that. So let's talk about the weekly racing series. And again, that's something that NASCAR does to involve the weekly tracks. And it's tough because folks think of NASCAR and they think of the Sunday race. But the Roots program, the weekly racing series, that really is something where I know back in the day, I was a Winston Racing Series racer myself, and when I carried a NASCAR license, that was pretty impressive. I mean, it's a great program that really keeps the grassroots stuff alive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I think it says a lot about the tracks that we're going to that are involved. It isn't every track in the U.S. We're very selective of the tracks we choose, the tracks we're a part of, and who we want to partner with. And Gino and Bo have just done a phenomenal job in supporting racing as well. So that's one reason we chose to go into this market and to be a big part of what they're doing. And as we continue to go coast to coast, I think it's very to me it's intriguing and interesting. If you're a racer, to be able to race for points amongst other drivers across the coast, and I think that's really been a big part of it. And I think like you said, you carry that license and you get to talk to your friends and customers, and they see it, and I think it's a pretty exciting part as well.
Yeah. I know I would go to happy hours and I'd pull out my NASCAR license. I'm like, look, I'm a NASCAR driver, so something kind of cool right there. So let's talk about this weekend. And I mean, it's got to be a little special for you guys because that initial involvement, I know that Advance has been a part of motorsports for a long time, but like I was talking to Corey, you guys, Mike, led by you guys really started digging in with the Houston stuff. So to have the truck racing version of the Snowball Derby or the Oxford 250 or the Rattler, whatever these big races are, with late models, to have the truck race happening in Texas, that has to be pretty special for all of you guys.
Yeah, no, it is. I relate it back to all the different tracks I've been to, and I love every series that's at these local tracks. Don't get me wrong, but the trucks,
Right.
When you think about Texas, you think about trucks. I mean, it's just natural. We have more trucks on the road here than most states, and as you start thinking about that, it gets exciting, and it's just a whole different atmosphere. And as Gina and Bo and I were talking one night,
they were trying to get me to go down to the snowball and do some different things. And I said, well, instead of traveling somewhere, why don't we bring something here? And I learned real quick, don't ever say that to Gina or Bo, because then they're going to hold you to it. So, which is great. I mean, it's been excellent. I've been real happy with it. And, we are real excited about year 2 here. COVID had us kind of concerned what we could and couldn't do, but, fortunately, we're able to keep moving forward with this year, and we're really excited to see the participation and what the fans will get out of this weekend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you envision for Houston Motorsports Park on Saturday night? Obviously, you've got folks coming in, whether it be associates or clients, whatever it is. I mean, your thoughts on this? I mean, Chamber of Commerce weather. I mean, maybe a little hot, but I think that there's been some hiccups trying to get races done at Houston this year, but I think that finally, Mike, we have a weekend where it's all going to line up. The 9/11, I talked about that, the correlation with that. I think it's really going to be just, I used the word fellowship earlier. I think it's going to be something where we can all just gather and just enjoy something that we love so much.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. And the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 as well, something very important, I think, to all of us. As you think about that, I've seen some of the racers posting the memory of some folks that they were involved with. I think one of the motorsport teams that out here at HMP was highlighting United Airlines, things of that nature. And, I think those things are important, and I think it's important for everybody to come together. And I envision the great group that I've seen at HMP coming together, putting on a great show. There has not been a show I've been disappointed in. I think the racing has just been outstanding. And I think we've done enough advertising. I think we've spread the word. And the racers, I follow a lot of them on Facebook and different social media platforms, and I continue to see them share and be at our stores and post on their own pages. And I think a lot of people know this is an exciting weekend for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Lastly, Mike, let me ask you about Roper. So we just talked to him. He's coming home. He's going to race with us. You guys, you got a homegrown guy right there, and actually you got a homegrown guy with Blaney as well, although he drives for Penske on the NASCAR part. But your thoughts on these guys? I mean, they do it the old school way. They just work their butts off, and again, for them to show up, that's got to be really big for you guys.
No, it is. And Roper actually started at my original track. North Texas, running pony stocks, 4-cylinder cars, and bombers, and
love it.
He and I've had some conversations about that, and it's just kind of funny as I watched him grow through his career, and then really special to be able to get his associates to come out this weekend, and then our team members from Advance are in market. I've got some coming in from out of state, and I think it's just a real big home celebration, and really it's exciting to be able to see this, because right now it's tough to go out to NASCAR, it's tough to go in the pits. It's tough to be a part of that, and to be able to bring that home and, fly the red, white, and blue colors this weekend on Corey's truck, that's going to be exciting too. And Corey knows he's got a lot of competition this weekend. There's a lot of fast trucks, but, we're going to be pulling for a great race this weekend for everybody.
Yeah. Like I was saying, folks, are for $20 for a adult, $20, you're going to get at least 200 laps of action, and I think it's going to be a memorable one. And it's guys like you, Mike. Thank you so much for leading the charge with Advance and with CarQuest and just keeping this thing going. Because without you guys, I'm not sure what we'd be doing on the pavement side around here.
All right, thanks, Rodney. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend, and like I said, we'll be out to support the racing. And thanks for what all you do and all the promotions you do for Advanced CarQuest and our brands as well.
Absolutely, sir. I will see you on Saturday, my friend. Be well, and let's have a great weekend.
All right, sounds great. Be safe.
All right, take care. Here is Mike Cooper. Guy does a lot, and that's one of those guys behind the scenes that he does so much. And again, like I was talking about earlier, and I've mentioned it many times in the past, is Advance Auto Parts and led by Mike. They were the ones. When Houston sat there for just a couple of years, HMP, and that was the shitty part about it, guys, is that that place was sitting there, and there just wasn't a direction for it, and it was Gina and Bo and everyone that Gina had that connection there. Corey was a big part of that, and was able to make that connection, and that's how it happened. And thank goodness it did, because just a couple of different ways. I mean, for one thing, for that racetrack to be sitting there dormant, without anything happening. I go on and on. I did the Lost Speedways thing where I went to Texas World and the place is all broken down, and we saw our man Chris Davidson on the San Antonio place, and you see all these broken down racetracks that are in disrepair, and probably the Texas World ain't going to be fixed. It's going to be a housing project. San Antonio, I mean, I'd love to see it come back to life, but it's going to take a pretty penny, and that's tough. But to have that jewel sitting over there in Houston, then it doesn't matter to me if it races 12 times or if it races 4 times. Just the fact that people are on board to try to get something put together and have racing there, I think it's massive. And we need it here in Texas because we've got great dirt track racing, but we still need some pavement racing. And this weekend, it will be, like I've been saying, the baddest ass race of them all. It is going to be the 2nd annual Texas Truck Challenge, and it's happening at Houston Motorsports Park. And again, the schedule is sitting right here on the Facebook page, but just in a nutshell, let me run you down through everything that's going to be happening. So on Friday, and that's day after tomorrow, guys. We're on a short week. We're on a short week. Day after tomorrow, gates open at 12. Get your 12 noon. Get your tires. Get everything that you need right there. $100 per car. $10 for guys. Ladies and kids get in free. I love that. That's good stuff right there. 12:30 to 7, you'll have open practice. Get out there. Get your track time. Get those American Racer tires worn in. Run those heat cycles. Run the heat cycles, get adjusted to those tires. There's going to be so many folks teams that are going to be coming in that have not used those tires. Saturday, September the 11th, the 20th anniversary of that horrible day, we will gather and have a massive race in Houston. 10 a.m., the ticket office and the pit gates will open. Tires available at 10 a.m., so get them early. Registration, entry, everything opens. Drivers, you're going to do your chip draw at 10:30. Tech's going to open at 10:30, so if you're coming from out of town, you'll want to get there early, be a part of that. Then at noon, you will have your pre-qualifying tech procedures, and that's going to be for the pro trucks. That's going to be right outside of the media room. Go on out there, figure out how all of that's going to work, and show up for that meeting. Show up there. That way you get ready to roll. Then at 1 o'clock, that control practice is going to start. Again, extra money going into the pro modifieds. Hercules Foundation Repair. That's Alan and Colin Alexander. They're busting more money into the modified race for this. That's going to be a 30-lap main event for the mods. We know we've got some fantastic modified racers. I mean, you got Jason Marshall. You've got Colin. You've got Memphis Villarreal. I mean, you got all of these guys. I mean, the list is on and on and on of the great modified drivers. I don't want to underestimate the modifieds or the super stocks or the outlaws. I know we've got guys coming in the outlaws from our southeast folks that are battling through everything that's happened with this horrible hurricane Ida, but they're coming to Houston. They're coming to Houston to race, and that's what we've been wanting to build right here. So all of that happens, drivers meetings, all of that. Check that detail schedule out. 5:05 is going to be your pro truck qualifying, and then at 6:20, and I ask this for myself, drivers, come on up. 6:20, I don't care if you're in the trucks. I don't care if you're in the eco stocks, you're in the legacies, whatever you are in, come on up to the grandstands because this night is going to be all about all of you. And we're going to have, I know we're going to have a lot of butts in those seats, and I want to showcase you guys. I want you guys to come on up, especially with the 911, with the 911 situation. I want you guys to come up and let's honor everyone. And come on up, drivers, and get your just deserved rewards. Let this massive crowd that's going to show up, let them, and there's Caden the Cone Boy right there. I'll be calling him out. Probably won't have a voice by the time we get to the truck race. But let these fans honor you guys because it is all about you guys. You're in the show business, and I want you guys to be honored, and I want folks to get to see who the folks are behind the wheel, because they'll go to the pits afterwards, but I want them to get to see you. At 6:30, we'll do a fan invert. There'll be a part there with the drawing, for the inverts and all of that. We'll get that totally interactive. 6:35, we'll get the feature races started, and then we roll off again. Eco Stocks, 20 laps. Super Stocks will go 25. The Legacies will go 20. The Outlaws will go 30. The Pro Mods will go 30. And the big one, the second annual Texas Truck Challenge presented by Advance Auto Parts, 75 laps to culminate just a huge night of action at Houston Motorsports Park and with the Gulf Coast Racing Series. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I guarantee you 200 laps of action, 200 laps of the best fun that you're going to have any weekend. And we're doing it. We're kicking asphalt in Texas. We're kicking asphalt in Houston. Updates throughout the week. You will see them right here on Facebook. Anything that transpires, anything, whether it be, more money coming into purses, whatever it is, whether, if we get big names that whatever it's going to be in these next few hours, these next 48 to 72 hours, guys, we are here. We are right here. It is race time. It's time to go racing with the baddest ass race in Texas. And I want to thank everyone for being a part of this little Facebook pop-in to check in. Again, we're doing a pre-race show, and that pre-race show will be probably around 5 o'clock, and we'll jump in with that, and we'll get you updates from the racetrack. It's going to be right here on Facebook. And we'll have streaming information. All of that's going to be coming up. If you can't get to the racetrack, we're going to be able to broadcast this race to you. When we talk about the team that does such a great job putting this program together, part of it is our behind-the-scenes folks that are doing the AV stuff, if you want to call it that put this live stream together. I have folks all the time that are reaching out to me, hey, what a great live stream. I'm like, I ain't doing shit. All I do is call the races. There are people that are working behind the scenes that really make this thing happen, and they're the ones that need to be applauded. So if you can't get to the racetrack, we'll have that live stream for you. But there it is once again. The biggest race that we're going to see in the state of Texas. $10,000 to win for the trucks, for the Gulf Coast Racing Series trucks, presented by Advance Auto Parts. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get to the racetrack. We're going to get out there, and we're just going to have one hell of a good time. And like I said, if you can't get to the racetrack, check in. Check in with us on the live stream. But let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Let's have a great weekend. Let's go racing in Texas. Asphalt racing is alive and well in Texas, and this weekend we are going to ram it down everybody's throat. It is the second annual Texas Truck Challenge. Cannot wait. We'll see you at the racetrack. Have a great week, everybody.